There is a hidden secret that could save you thousands. Modern solutions aren't always better. At Mr. Marcus Thorne, we look back to find the powerful knowledge that has been lost. Fortes fortuna adjuvat. Fortune favors the bold, but it also favors the prepared. Now, let's go deeper. There is a white powder that costs less than $1 at any local hardware store. You sprinkle it on a bathtub stain that has been sitting there for 30 years. You add warm water and walk away. When you come back, the stain is gone. Not faded, not lighter, gone. Yellow discoloration from decades of hard water is completely dissolved. Rust rings from old faucet drips are permanently erased. Calcium deposits that survived every scrub brush you ever owned have vanished. The bathtub underneath looks exactly like the day it left the factory floor. White, smooth, and untouched. This powder has existed since 1882. It was never banned. It was never recalled. It was never made illegal. It was simply buried. Buried under an avalanche of $15 spray bottles that promise miracles and deliver absolutely nothing. Because a powder that fixes the problem permanently with a single application cannot generate repeat sales. And what cannot generate repeat sales cannot sustain a $200 billion industry. This is the untold story of the $1 powder that the cleaning industry prayed you would never find. If uncovering these suppressed historical facts matters to you, hitting the subscribe button is the absolute best way to make sure this knowledge survives. The year was 1776, not in Philadelphia, but in Uppsala, Sweden. A pharmaceutical chemist named Carl Wilhelm Scheele was boiling sorrel leaves in a cramped laboratory behind an apothecary shop. Scheele was not wealthy. He was a simple pharmacy clerk who conducted experiments after hours with borrowed equipment and second-hand chemicals. That evening, as he reduced the liquid from the sorrel, white crystals began forming at the bottom of his flask. He tasted them carefully, the way chemists did in that era, and noted a sharp, sour flavor. He had just isolated a compound that would later be named oxalic acid. Scheele rigorously documented its remarkable ability to dissolve mineral deposits and rust stains on contact. He published his findings, and the scientific community largely ignored them. Scheele died 10 years later at 43, poisoned by the very chemicals he spent his life studying. His discovery of oxalic acid was buried in dusty academic journals written in Latin and Swedish. For over a century, almost nobody outside of chemistry departments knew what he had found. Then, in 1882, something accidental happened in Indianapolis, Indiana. A chemist named George William Hoffman was cooking a pot of rhubarb for dinner. When he finished, he noticed something impossible. The pot had been tarnished for years, blackened with heavy mineral deposits and grease stains that no amount of scrubbing could remove. But after cooking the rhubarb in it, the pot was gleaming. Hoffman was not just any cook. He was a manufacturing chemist who already sold cleaning products across the American Midwest. He knew immediately that the rhubarb contained something highly powerful. He isolated the active compound. It was oxalic acid, the exact same substance Scheele had crystallized from sorrel over a century earlier. Hoffman formulated a highly effective cleaning powder built entirely around this acid and began selling it in brown paper bags to local taverns and saloons. Barkeepers used it to polish their brass rails, copper kettles, and iron stovetops. The product worked so incredibly well that word spread from saloon to saloon across Indiana, and then across the entire country. He named it after his most loyal customers, Barkeeper's friend. By the turn of the century, this powder was sitting in hardware stores from New York to San Francisco. Over 140 years later, the exact same formula is still manufactured in Indianapolis. The exact same oxalic acid, the exact same cleaning mechanism, the exact same results. Nothing about the chemistry has changed, because nothing needed to change. The powder already worked perfectly in 1882. But here is what the modern cleaning industry does not want you to understand. Let me show you exactly why this powder embarrasses every single product on the cleaning aisle. When oxalic acid contacts a rust stain, a double displacement reaction occurs at the molecular level. The iron oxide, which is what rust actually is, aggressively bonds with the oxalate ions from the acid. This immediately creates a brand new compound called iron oxalate, which is completely water-soluble. It literally dissolves in water and rinses away as if the stain never existed. The stain does not get pushed around. It does not get masked with a cheap white film. It gets chemically disassembled. This is fundamentally different from what commercial bathroom cleaners do. Most spray bottles on the shelf use surfactants, essentially soap molecules, to simply loosen surface grime and float it away temporarily. But severe mineral deposits, rust rings, calcium scale, and hard water stains are not surface grime. They are chemically bonded to the porcelain, enamel, or fiberglass at a molecular level. Soap cannot break those bonds. No amount of physical scrubbing can break those bonds. Only a chemical reaction that targets the specific mineral compound can dissolve them permanently. Oxalic acid does exactly that. Research on chelation chemistry confirms that oxalic acid binds with calcium, iron, and magnesium ions far more aggressively than any common household surfactant. It works flawlessly on porcelain, enamel, fiberglass, ceramic tile, and stainless steel without damaging the healthy surface hiding underneath. This is exactly why one application of a $1 powder accomplishes what 50 bottles of bathroom spray simply cannot. The numbers tell the real story. A standard bottle of brand-name bathroom cleaner costs between $8 and $15. The average American household buys 6 to 12 bottles of bathroom cleaning products every single year. That is somewhere between $70 and $180 annually on products that merely manage stains but never actually eliminate them. Over a decade, one family spends between $700 and $1,800 on bathroom cleaners alone. A single $2 container of oxalic acid powder contains enough raw material for dozens of applications and easily lasts an entire year. The cost per application is literally measured in pennies, not dollars. But it gets worse. When stains finally become too deep for spray bottles to handle, homeowners call a professional. The bathtub reglazing industry charges between $300 and $600 for a single refinishing job. Bathtub replacement starts at $1,500 and can easily exceed $8,000 with installation, plumbing, and tile work. Every single dollar of that could have been completely prevented by a powder that costs less than a cup of coffee. So, here is the question that should keep cleaning company executives awake at night. If a powder that costs less than $1 permanently removes every type of bathtub stain, why is the cleaning aisle 50 feet long? Because the global household cleaning products market generates over $200 billion in revenue every single year. Surface cleaners alone account for more than $68 billion of that massive total. Companies dominate shelf space in every supermarket on the continent, and their entire business model depends on one foundational principle: repeat purchase. Every product on that shelf is explicitly engineered to manage your problem, not solve it. A spray that removes surface grime today ensures you need to buy another bottle next month. A foam that temporarily whitens your tub guarantees you will be back in the cleaning aisle within weeks. If any of these products actually eliminated the stain permanently, you would never buy another bottle again. And a customer who never comes back is a customer who generates zero lifetime revenue. Oxalic acid represents an absolute existential threat to this entire corporate model. You cannot build massive brand loyalty around a powder that solves the problem once. You cannot charge $15 for a spray bottle when a $1 powder does the exact same job better, faster, and permanently. So, what does the industry do? They do not ban it. They do not fight it directly. They do something far more effective. They completely ignore it. They flood the market with hundreds of competing products, wrapped in bright packaging, celebrity endorsements, and fake scientific-sounding names. They make the cleaning aisle so overwhelming, so crowded, and so loud that a plain white container of oxalic acid powder sitting on the bottom shelf becomes completely invisible. Meanwhile, professional cleaners have known about this powder for decades. Hotel housekeeping departments use oxalic acid solutions to restore bathtubs between guests. Marine restoration crews use it to strictly strip mineral deposits from fiberglass boat hulls. Woodworkers use it to bleach out water stains and restore aged lumber. Industrial cleaning operations buy it in 55-pound bulk bags because literally nothing else works as effectively at that scale. The professionals know. The industry knows. The only people who were not told are the hard-working homeowners paying $15 a bottle for products that barely work. Here is exactly what you do about it. Go to any local hardware store. Walk past the cleaning aisle entirely. Find the paint section or the wood restoration section. Look for a container clearly labeled oxalic acid powder or wood bleach. It will cost between $1 and $3. Step 1. Put on rubber gloves and safety glasses. This is a highly effective acid, and it must be handled with strict respect. Make sure your bathroom is well ventilated. Open a window or turn on the exhaust fan. Step 2. Mix exactly 2 tablespoons of the powder into 1 quart of warm water in a plastic bucket. Stir it carefully until it dissolves completely. Step 3. Apply the solution directly to the stained areas of your bathtub using a simple sponge or a spray bottle. Step 4. Let it sit for 10 to 20 minutes. For severe, heavy stains that have built up over decades, you can let it sit for up to 30 minutes. Do not scrub. The chemistry is doing the physical work for you, aggressively disassembling the mineral bonds at the molecular level. Step 5. After the waiting period, rinse the entire surface thoroughly with clean water. Look at your bathtub. The yellow is gone. The rust rings are gone. The calcium scale is gone. What you are looking at is the original porcelain or enamel surface that has been hiding under those stains for years. For extremely stubborn deposits that have accumulated over 20 or 30 years, simply apply a second treatment. Mix a slightly stronger solution, 3 tablespoons per quart, and repeat the process. In almost every single case, 2 applications are enough to fully restore a bathtub that most people would have paid $500 to reglaze. One highly important note. I need to be completely honest with you here. Oxalic acid is genuinely effective, but it is a chemical tool. Never, ever mix it with bleach or any other cleaning chemical. Keep it strictly away from children and pets. Store it in its original container, and always rinse surfaces thoroughly. This is not a toy, it is a tool. And like any powerful tool, it works brilliantly when used correctly and responsibly. Thoughtful. Your grandparents absolutely knew about this powder. They did not have a 50-foot cleaning aisle telling them what to buy. They had a tin of powder under the sink, and their bathtubs were spotless. The powder did not disappear because it failed. It disappeared because it worked too well. A product that permanently eliminates the need for itself is the cleaning industry's absolute worst nightmare. But the science did not change. The chemistry did not expire. They just stopped telling you about it. If this video opened your eyes, hit subscribe and share it. Every single share actively preserves the knowledge the industry tried to erase from your memory. I am Mr. Marcus Thorne, and remember, fortes fortuna adjuvat. Fortune favors the bold. I will see you in the next video.